legs and run away? Ah, yeah, it is. Now, where is my pepper? Did it sprout legs and run away? Ah, yeah,
I'm overheating here.
Divines doubly bless you, friend. I shall be very glad to share what information I can give you, by all means. For 2 years, all news has been bad news, and clearly nothing has changed. More dead, more undead, and more letters to write home to grieving widows and widowers. Still, I thank you for telling me, Source Hunter. Knowledge is better than uncertainty. Burial mounds and necromancers should be like peas in a pod, those. Could these be where the undead outbreak originated? My legionnaires. They all perished. How fate has treated them wantonly. And the archaeologist didn't make it back either. Oh, when will all this unwarranted death end? This cannot be. Can it? You have found one of the sources of the undead and sent it back into oblivion. But that is fantastic. Never have I seen such heroism. Hope breaks through after 2 years of absolute darkness. Sicil remains under threat, yes, but finally it has been proven even the dead can be vanquished. To think, Feliron too was behind these horrors all along. A man who treated the wounds I obtained in battle, who comforted me when my agony was great. Such a pity. Sicil is in your debt, Hunter. I, and the Legion too. Brachus Rex is dead, and no one but you could have done this glorious deed.
Hail, Source Hunter. Good to see you've reached Lacula Forest. There were times when I came to this neck of the woods just to whiff its wholesome air. Alas, that it is thick with sorcery these days. It surrounds us here, like an invisible mist. Takes cat's eyes to see it creep. Even so, it's plain as day to the east, all about Ikara's cabin. Immaculates beset it, no doubt under Leandra's orders. If she has ordered such thorough defenses of her sister's cabin, we may be certain that whatever lies within will be a prize more precious than butter-baked plaice. That means Ikara herself must be there, Hunter, and it is essential that you find her. Only she can shed light on the details of Leandra's plans. Ha! Zigzags would see you dash rather than mosey. But matters such as these require a thoughtful approach. Leandra and her cronies may be lunatics all, but they're far from brainless. So be wary, Hunter, and be safe.
Don't look at me like that. It's not as though I'm enjoying this.
In the name of the goddess, halt! Who goes there? A wanderer, you say? A lost sheep, perhaps, that has found its flock. The stable of Immaculates. Why, it's Silver Glen, of course. Once the abode of miners, now the abode of the faithful. We have traded the search for silver for the pursuit of divinity. I'm sure this sounds strange in what are strangers' ears, but you must know that but a short while ago a frightful sickness felled us by the dozen, until she who speaks for the goddess brought us a cure. She showed us how we may overcome the frailty and even the decrepitude of our mortal bodies. That is why we now live a life of devoutness and civility, so that we may become immaculate. But I suggest you talk to Father Loic if you want to learn more about the ways of the goddess. Be welcome, therefore, to Silver Glen. Blessed be all Immaculates.
The Immaculates here seem to be
May
a
the
friendly
goddess
enough
guide
bunch.
you through the
Seeing
forest.
being the
Keep you
operative word.
safe.
Let's remain vigilant.
Over here, Hunter. It's me, Ahu. Source Hunter. You've made it into the hamlet of Silver Glen, I see. Unnerving spot, don't you find? Leandra has fashioned herself a hero here, but the townsfolk don't seem to know the truth behind the conduit, though they call themselves Immaculates. The advantage of being a puss, my friend, is that one can pussyfoot. A white-haired wizard draws attention, but a cat can move about unnoticed and, indeed, unseen. Not that I'm not extra wary of these bloodsuckers, though. There's a conspicuous absence of pets in this eerie little town. They're thick as trout, if you ask me, and unnaturally obsessed with ancient teachings. I haven't seen Leandra here myself, but she must have put on quite a show of magical mastery to enthrall a crowd of shaggy miners, to have them hop on the bandwagon of a shadowy religion wholly alien to them. Haven't you heard them whisper of the blood? How their eyes shine when they discuss certain stellar stones? Star stones, of course, which drenched in blood become bloodstones and are used in healing rituals. Now, I can see how it could be a fantastic thing to nurse a dying human back to health, if all it takes is to sacrifice a toad. But I spy bloodlust in these people's eyes. A bloodlust that goes beyond the usual meaning of the word. They all act like they're following a benign goddess that will lead them to paradise. But I'll be a dappled Dalmatian if any of that is true. I've been shadowing the local priest, a man by the name of Loic. I have the feeling he knows more than most in Silver Glen, for I've followed him in the night when he meets with cloaked strangers, and goblins even. Mangoth, Hyberheim, of strange things I've heard him whisper. Yes, this priest has shady goings-on written all over that smug, holier-than-thou face of his. But we must start at the beginning, Source Hunter. The White Witch is still at large. If we want to get to the true heart of Leandra's doings, we must start with her sister. And she's far likelier to be in her cabin among the trees than here among Leandra's followers. The Immaculate's presence here is highly disconcerting. But we mustn't lose sight of our mission, Source Hunter. The White Witch resides somewhere in the wilds of the surrounding forest, and we must find her.
Beware of the lost ones out there, Wanderer. Their blood is impure.
Hello and welcome to our shop. I am the son of the proprietor, Nadia. Please let us know how we can help you. You've probably noticed that my mother Nadia and I aren't from around here. No. We traveled rather far from our hometown to plant new roots here in Silver Glen. My father, Ben, his death was somewhat mysterious, and we've traced the puzzle back to this little settlement. My mother will have plenty to say on that subject, if you're interested. Ma's a bit intense, to be sure. Set in her ways, but fiercely loyal to the family. Help her out and you've got a friend for life. Cross her, and you'll be better off skipping town. Not that that'll stop her from cursing your line for the next 1,000 cycles of bendis. My father was a good man, equal in character to his wife. His death nearly destroyed us, Ma and me. But now we're here, and we won't leave until we've held the proper parties accountable for their role in his death.
Farma Malbenita, a source hunter in Silver Glen. I have traveled mile on top of mile to find help, and now help has, how you say, appeared from skinny vapors. My story? Well, this is no small tale. I think perhaps you will be more interested in the, how you say, the short end of stick. I believe Lawrence, the leader of Mining Guild, tell my husband and many of other workers to mine deadly ore called tenebrium. Lawrence knew that this ore caused rot. Charming name, no? Yet ordered miners to continue. Many men, my Ben among them, become the sickness. And now they, how you say, kick down the bucket. But the sickness, it is not normal. It kills swift and terrible, not unlike Source. My son Sebi and I travel from our home to find truth, but this has proven not so easy. My sweet little Pomargo Vizago, my darling Ben, we got along like, how you say, peas and ferrets. But here there is work, very well paid, in mines, clearing special rock from Silver Mine. So he leaves Sebi and I to come to Silver Glen. We wait with hearts like stones for some months. And one day we see familiar figure moving with strange steps on path toward cottage. We run to meet him and take him into our arms, but he collapses at our touch. We help him inside and set him to rest. But he was in terrible condition. Each hour he grow worse, rot so fast we hardly recognize him after 2 short days. He slip away from us, and we bury him with much grief. When his father die, Sebi become restless. Being of the age, he join army and go straight to front line. Though I was nearly old woman, I joined army as healer to be near and look after my boy. There we saw special legionnaire using strange weapon. And this legionnaire soon come to my tent with the same disease that killed Ben. I discovered the tenebrium ore in this weapon. It was the ore that killed them both. I come to Silver Glen to discover truth, and here I find Lawrence, that arrogant man, conducts his business without apologize to any. Exactly this. Please, Source Hunter, you must help me prove that Lawrence made his workers to mine deadly tenebrium. For your help, I offer blessing from my homeland. Se vi mal successos, mi plantos seritzarbo cae tormenti via nepo soggiai branco. Translation is difficult, but it means something like, if you fail, I will plant a cherry tree and haunt your grandbaby beneath branches. Good luck. I will do my best to give answer, Source Hunter. I have not found scrap of civilization among these apes. Sebi longs for heaping plate of my famous sire mule, but the local fairs support no fine food, unless squirrel meat inspire you. As for neighbors, well, those cultists would rather sacrifice supper to goddess than eat it. May Zalmoxis strike him down, the murderer! I have one goal in Silver Glen, to make him share in the suffering he caused. I am certain he has gained from making those miners take the tenebrium. Now I have only to prove it. Nothing natural could cause such terrible disease at mere touch. If you ask me, I say dark magic, maybe even source at its root. That foul thing! A terrible disease. It transforms flesh of living into flesh of corpse, while infected person still lives. Arms grow black and heavy, legs grow black and heavy, hair rots from scalp. Cielo helpo min! Oh, what memories I have. This illness, this rot, it sounds very much like the disease that came to Home Forest.
Woolgraf contemplates what it must have been like to see a horrid plague ravish Beardotter's homeland. He puts his hand on her shoulder consolingly.
Welcome me, O seeking souls, to this holy house of Immaculates. I am Loic, enlightened one among Immaculates, spokesman for the holy conduit, as she is spokesman for the goddess herself. Hers is the blood.
Blessed be the goddess, and blessed be the conduit.
Then it shall be my pleasure to answer them. We are the chosen ones of the goddess. The benedictions of the blood render our bodies and spirits unblemished, for such is her mercy, that we may all become part of the sacred soul. And you too, Seeker, could become one such part. The conduit, yes. She, the most exalted of all, second only to the goddess. It was she who brought us first her divine words, then her divine will, a will made real in blood. Truly, though, she is quite beyond your concern, O wandering soul. She stands so very high above your humble station. The goddess is the light and life of all. Corrupt is the world that generations of men and beasts have left behind, but immaculate it may be once more, cleansed in the blood of the unworthy. The few, the proud, the enlightened, theirs will be her kingdom. When red has run until no red is left, a paradise we will have shapen, and the goddess will dwell among us.
The blood of the lost will flow.
Immaculate I want to be! The blood of the lost will flow!
Diligently will I read the words of the goddess.
Into the fray once more.
Good goddess above. Have you ever seen a creature more pathetic than Fumble?
Take on even a few of them, sir. Are you deaf? I said I want those goblins out! Make it happen, even if you have to spear Drexus yourself.
Source hunter, are you? What brings you to this neck of the woods? The goblins? The orcs? The cult? Or the whole pretty bouquet? Don't be surprised if you hear more than a few unkind words about yours truly around town. An overseer's got to enforce his share of unpopular guild decisions, you know. I'm finished with this one pony rodeo, though. I did my best by these roughnecks. And now it's time for old Brandon to take a load off. In fact, you may be able to help speed my retirement plan along.
Let's hear it.
No.
We came here.
I'm sure we can think of more interesting ways to entertain ourselves than by doing Brandon's dirty work.
Right, we'll do it your way.
Well then, I'll just have to keep this brilliant scheme all to me onesie then, won't I? See if I'll be bothered. I'm no man to refuse a source hunter. Ask away, friend. A strange sort of substance, discovered here around 2 years ago, and folks have been clamouring to get their paws on the rancid stuff ever since. To the right buyer, it's worth more than diamonds. Ross! You're a curious sort of fella, aren't you? Ask around. Half the men here have a brother who died from it. The other half were cured by that cult. I remember him well. Decent man, strong-backed, but something of a funny accent, no? He managed to leave Silver Glen alive, but as I recall, the symptoms of wrath were already upon him. How now, pal of mine?
A source hunter! My liege, I am at your disposal. I am Lawrence, the representative of the mining guild responsible for operations in Silver Glen. Please, valiant hunter, let us know how we can assist you. Oh, I am no one special. Merely a humble servant of the guild and shepherd to the happy flock of miners within this settlement. My only cause for complaint, Your Grace, are these awful goblins. They're starving us out, refusing even a single honest miner his right to work. Perhaps my most upright highness, you might be able to help us with this little problem. Preposterous! What does that foreigner know about the affairs of Silver Glen? You do best to do as I do, my liege, and turn a deaf ear to her insane accusations. Please, Your Grace, I am completely at your disposal. Useless stuff, my liege. Worse than common dirt. But 10 times as difficult to extract and infinitely more dangerous. If only we'd known in advance the terrible effect rot would have, we would have stopped trying to clear it immediately. Yes, a dreadful business that. I've been fortunate enough to avoid the sickness so far, my liege, but my heart truly breaks for the families of those who've been afflicted. You see, my liege, when a miner has been overlong exposed to tenebrium, he begins showing certain symptoms. Gangrene about the extremities, fatigue, malaise. At first, we attributed these symptoms to, well, to poor diet, laziness, and general malingering. Had we known then what we've since discovered, we never would have continued operations. But alas, mistakes were made, and those we lost can never be brought back, no matter what that crackpot conduit would have one believe. My liege, you ought not to concern yourself with the fraudulent leader of a crackpot cult. Really, the whole affair is an utter embarrassment to Silver Glen. Some insane huckster calling herself the conduit of the goddess made her way to Silver Glen at the height of the rot's hold on our miners. The people were desperate, you see. When by magic or illusion she managed to cure a handful of them of the affliction, every last one of the bunch began speaking of her as though she were some messiah. Now most of the town is taken with her little cult of immaculates, as she calls them. Fortunately for her, she disappeared shortly after her little trick. Or I would have thrown her into prison and swallowed the key myself. Imagine hypnotizing an entire town with nothing more than snake oil. Ah, yes. Ben. Of course, one of our many noble miners, Your Grace. A smallish man. I believe he's around here somewhere, isn't he? Those brutes! I invited them here to save our valued miners from the ill effects of clearing tenebrium, and those interlopers met my invitation with a hostile takeover. They haven't allowed a single human miner past them in months, and meanwhile my men have all but forgotten their vocation and turned instead to their damned religion. Enough to know the whole institution has been a blight on productivity. With the blessings of the conduit to replace a sense of a job well done, the miners care hardly at all for getting the mines back in good working order. You must forgive me if I become somewhat overcome when discussing it, my liege. To think how I've been betrayed. To think how the humble miners of Silver Glen suffer. I invited a tribe of goblins to assist us in clearing the tenebrium from our mine, you see. The leader of the troop, a certain spitting Satan named Drexis, promised to clear the tenebrium and be gone. When the job was done, though, he and his band of totem-brained fiends refused to vacate. They've kept close guard of the bridges to the mine since, and they'll slice whoever dares approach them into ribbons. These goblins follow Drexis like lemmings, Your Grace, and if only I could undo the traitor, they'd slither back to the swamp they crawled from. Drexis's head on my mantle would save countless miners from a slow starvation, my liege. What's one goblin over countless disenfranchised workers?
I traded my pickaxe for a bloodstone, and you'll do the same if you know what's good for you.
Come hither, sweetheart. Oh, if I had a star for every time you brighten my day, I'd have a galaxy in my hand.
Look at you, sugar. Oh, I could take you on a ride neither of us would soon forget.
I'm not in the mood for your games.
No, sugar. That's a story for another day, ain't it? Speaking of, yours and mine has hardly begun. What say we get better acquainted upstairs? I've got all kinds of, details to share with you. Indeed I do. And I'm just itching to take you places you've only ever dreamed of, darling. What's a lousy 250 gold between an adventurer like you and a fine piece of tale like the one I've got in store for you?
Is you the answer to all my prayers?
Oh, that's the spirit, sugar. Oh, gold always puts me in the mood for a little romance. Follow me then, my knight in shining armor.
Amazing. Our kind can remain in heat all year, it seems.
Sounds business for
Catching
you, anyway.
Bedotter's eye,
Swell enough,
Woolbroth flexes
swell
his
enough.
muscles like a peacock,
Would be
showing its
better
plumage,
if you'd glance
confirming
in my
her observation.
Truth is,
The fuse is getting shorter! Stop it! Freeze it!
Stop talking, naughty princess! Leave fuse alone or boom!
There you are, darling. Shall we get started then? So we shall, sugar. But do please ask your friend over there to give us a bit of privacy first.
Please, somebody do something! Throw a bucket of water over the damn thing!
Foul tricks! Princess Haltan or boom!
There you are, darling. Oh, let's do it. But first, I need to know about your preferences, darling. You're in charge tonight, after all. So tell me, which sort best floats your boat? A savage, merciless witch, or a gentle, sensuous nymph? In need of a gentle hand, are you? Well, I've just the soft and sumptuous knoll in mind for you to rest your weary heads. Why don't we make ourselves comfortable and begin?
You little monster! Away with you!
Once upon a time, the patron goddess of feasting took a fancy to the humble spirit of insatiability. Of their union, a nymph, Clydella, was born. The child of parents so
Please,
expert in flavour and
something.
quantity,
Throw a bucket of
Clydella's
water over the
calling
damn
was
thing.
clear. A master cook she became, the finest from Grandin Gulch to Wimpet Willow. Queens and sultans trembled before her crow's egg crumble. Dukes shed salty, toxic tears upon her sugared lion's wing. Clydella's cooking was beloved.
The fuse is getting shorter!
Yes,
Stop
but
it!
to none
Freeze
so
it!
much as Clydella.
Naughty princess! Leave fuse alone
And feasts she'd eat, licking up 3 wedding hams in the time it took to count them. More she craved, and more till her clients had little more than crumbs to offer their guests. They'd wail and moan, but Clydella never quite heard them over the sound of her soup slurping. They stormed her kitchen, spittle flying, demanding dove roast, parsnip pudding, and pureed warg. But Clydella merely gazed upon them, blithely
Let
chewing
me go,
jerky,
you little monster!
and
Away with
shrugged.
you!
Clydella's fame declined as the royals made deals with devils to find feasts as tasty as hers. But she never noticed one way or another. A nymph in her kitchen, frying and feasting was all she'd ever needed to be.
Please, somebody do
that's
something!
the end,
Throw a bucket of
darling.
water
I
over
hope
the
it was
damn thing.
everything you dreamt of and more. I know I had myself a bang-up time.
Gods, the fuse is getting shorter! Stop it! Freeze it!
Stop talking, naughty princess! Leave fuse alone or boom!
Let me go, you little monster! Away with you!
No, Picky good guy. He guards the princess well.
Woolgraf gives you an envious look. It would appear he quite fancied some quality time with pretty Ruby himself.
Think she knows any good stories, my friend? Please, somebody do something! Throw a bucket of water over the damn thing!
Foul tricks! Princess Hunter or boom! Stop the talking, naughty princess! Leave fuse alone or boom!
Let me go, you little monster! Away with you!
No! Picky did that! He guards the princess well! You there! Back off! Bicky boom! One more step and Bicky boom!
No, don't go! Please help me! That thing is keeping me trapped here! It's crazy! It'll kill me!
Calm down. We're not coming any closer. Let's just talk about this.
Yes! Don't worry, miss. We'll get you out of this fix somehow.
Princess keep her trap shut or Bicky boom! No folks, shoo or Bicky boom! Last warning or Bicky boom!
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you! You saved my life! It was that cur of a Frederick that did this to me. He locked me in here with that ridiculous creature. Dear me, I need to get out of this room. Yes, I'll go downstairs to catch a breath of fresh air, but do come and talk to me again if you want to hear more about what transpired here. My thanks once more, sweet hero.
And here's a shiny coin. Keep the change.
Oh, my hero! My heart is still racing. That little monster's face haunts me every time I so much as blink. Bonnie's my name, and I am, or rather I was, a lover for hire. Folks would come to me when they were in need of some company, conversation, and more intimate desires. But this fiasco has put an end to it. I'll never set another foot into a client's room, not on my life.
Service, please.
Nothing much, I'm afraid, but go ahead. I'll answer what I can.
What'll you have, dear?
A straight shot of Rory, please.
Won't be a moment.
I used to, you know. Merchants came and went. They paid well and gave me gifts. Fewer and fewer of them travel here now because of the undead around Seal and the goblins holed up in the mines. Times are hard for a working girl, to tell you the truth. But where would I go? There's danger to be found everywhere these days. These bedeviled days. Yes? Search me. He's a regular of mine. With rather eccentric tastes, I might add. He always wants me to wear a grey wig, for example, and walk with a cane. But I digress. Anyway, he recently spent the night again, and I couldn't sleep because of his muttering. He talked something awful all through the night. In the morning, I told him he had gone on and on about some Maradino character and a supposedly secret treasure lair somewhere in the woods. Next thing I knew, he flew into a rage, said the treasure was his and his alone, and that I was nothing but a meddling care. I was just about to let him know I won't stand for such language when he pulled that monster of a bicky out of his satchel and told the little gnome to guard the princess and to go boom if I tried to escape. I spent hours of horrid fear up in that room until you saved me.
A little word of warning, traveller. The lands to the north are dangerous. Creepy crawlies as large as trolls over there.
Oh. You haven't any ale, have ya? Well, never mind for now. What sort of magical relics can I offer ya? Blessed by the goddess they are, each and all.
Oh, dear, dear, dear. You'll hardly impress the conduit with such a clouded look about your eyes. But not to fear, not to fear. I've just the potion for that.
You dare disturb my ruminations? It must be that you can hardly wait to purchase an ingredient or two for a very urgent recipe. I'll forgive this imposition if you'll make me a generous offer.
Give one of the comfort folk a visit, if you're in the mood. I recommend Ruby for her imagination. But Ramon's fierce as a wildcat, if that interests you.
Oh, you startled me. Let me compose myself. Hello, stranger. How can I help you? Oh, me? Oh, I'm just the waitress around here, as you can see. My husband, Blosius, is a legionnaire, currently stationed in Seal, but I haven't heard from him in far too long.
goblins are worse than the trolls. Half as dumb and...
Will? But that means he's... Oh, no. Oh, not my cutie, broody buttercup.
Praise the goddess! I've passed the trial!
Friend, this is most excellent news. Welcome to the Immaculate Fold.
Yes! I can feel the goddess's finger coursing through.
Please, leave me. I just want to work in peace and be alone with my thoughts.
Watch where you're going. These beauties will pierce you to the bone. So, do you fancy a trade then? Come now, before my ale arrives. Ever shot a bullseye in your sleep? Well, no wonder with your skill book as empty as all that.
Quite a fine skeleton beneath that hide of yours, isn't there? Yes, a lovely, sturdy thing. I bet it'll last 100 generations, if treated properly.
We're a mile away from the goblin camp beyond the canyon, but you can still smell them if the wind blows southward. Such vile things, those goblins.
Tell me,
Look
sweet.
at you, sugar. Oh, I could take you on a ride neither of us would soon forget. Oh, go right ahead, sweetheart.
You have sunburn.
They just stand around and praise the so-called goddess all day long. I've no idea who she is, but apparently she gets her kicks from having blood sprayed all over her. Now, I knew a girl once who was into that kind of stuff. Her clients used to call her goddess and mistress too, but there was precious little divine about her. Darling, I don't hardly recognise this place no more. Everything's changed since those silly immaculates came into vogue. The miners, they used to spend their last penny on a backwards glance from yours truly. But now, they'd rather pray than play. Ugh, I just don't understand it.
Roll in the hay.
Underside of a
Not
bridge.
today,
Ramon.
Oh, sugar, that's a story for another day, ain't it? Speaking of, yours and mine has hardly begun. What say we get better acquainted upstairs? Darling, I never said I was selling anything but a good time. A little tales, always nicer than a little tale. One always goes well in the end, and the other, well, charges triple for that sort of thing.
You brighten my day, I'd have a galaxy in my hand.
This is most excellent news. Welcome to the Immaculate Fold.
Do you believe in love at first sight? Or do I need to walk by again? Me? I'm Ramon! I may not be a genie, but rub me right and I'll make your dreams come true. No questions, please. Ramon does not ponder. He does not wonder. He only loves.
Share a moment together.
Where the wind blows, the goddess breathes. Where the rivers run, the goddess weeps. How can I connect you to our eternal goddess, my friend? Where the wind blows, the goddess breathes. Where the rivers run, the goddess weeps. How can I connect you to our eternal goddess, my friend?
Goddess greetings, friend. Her greatness gave us fire, her greatness gave us earth, and my savvy brings you spells at the best rate in town. Come, give me your best offer.
Calm
Sweetie, do you have someone, or are you always busy?
Why don't you stay a while, darling? I just know I could take you on a wild ride if you let me.
Come hither, sweetheart. Oh, if I had a star for every time you brighten my day, I'd have a galaxy in my
Over here, sweet cheeks. Oh, I'm aching to share a moment together.
Beware of the lost ones out there, Wanderer. Their blood is impure.
Breath of the dragon.
I can only hope this might be a magpie's nest. What have you got stashed in here, Mrs. Cottontail?
Stop for death, or it will stop for you. Oblige death now, for it obliges you. Tell me, traveler, do you wish to die? Death sends its finest carriage for you, yet you deign to step inside? An insult, yes, but unhappy guests are so unpleasant. Stop for death, or it will stop for you. And how will you die then? Do you wish for a long courtship with the Reaper, or for a quick and wild affair? Death flies, bat-like, rapid, and swallows you whole. Goodbye.
Bless the Seven! I am restored!
Stop for death, or it will stop for you. And how will you die then? Death creeps, tests, nuzzles, withdraws, pursues, torments, and takes you.
To sustain me.
Stop for death, or death.
Poor man. It seems he was eaten by a beast.
Well, partially eaten, to be more precise.
See that? A shadow just sprang to life.
Strange magic indeed. Perhaps we're nearing the White Witch's lair.
How are you holding up, my sweet? Not too tired?
I'm fine.
Ah, the Source Hunter. It is my greatest pleasure to announce to you that we Immaculates have captured the feared White Witch and quarantined her house of horrors. Yes, the greatest known threat to Rivellon has been neutralized, thanks in no small part to you, Source Hunter. Your activities in Sicil drove the snake to her den, and that's where we Immaculates sprang our trap. I am a proud Immaculate, sworn to use my summoner's expertise in service of the goddess's one way and the greater good. Ah, the High Counselor of Sicil. We mourned his tragic death. Yes, every Immaculate honors the memory of that noble man. Still, Source Hunter, I am sworn on my life to guard this quarantine. I serve a higher authority than yours, and will not waver in my duty. Regardless, I've sworn an oath, and I'll not tolerate even a Source Hunter's interference. If I find you beyond this point, I'll be forced to summon the greatest depths of my powers to stop you!
I feel like I'd better keep my weapon.
Immaculate command! You'd seek the White Witch despite our warnings?
lightning! I've been struck by lightning! I feel like I've been set in stone.
I can see the white light.
Eternal silence awaits you!
I needed that.
Seven have mercy on your soul. The seven calling her.
You there! Your night ship! Oh, please, come to our aid! My wife and I are stranded here. Oh, we're refugees, my liege. Two of the far too few souls that managed to escape Hunter's Edge when the orcs invaded. We were hoping to reach Silverglen, but we were attacked by highwaymen. Those devils would have scalped and skewered us if it hadn't been for Alfie. Oh, the brave creature bit one of them in half, though not before being frightfully wounded himself. Oh, it was naught but a small stop for trading folk along the long road south to Sicil. Well, we got along all right, but now our little home's finally been undone. Orcs invaded, and the source hunter who was meant to protect us didn't save a one of us. Bravest beast of burden in the borough is Alfie, but the poor blighter's bleeding like a stuck pig and can't move no more, which means we can't move no more either. Why, it would be folly to abandon a bandit killer in a wood full of bandits now, wouldn't it, your knightship? Besides, all our worldly wealth is strapped to his back. We'd be destitute without it. And yet, we can hardly stay here forever. Silverglen is close enough to see the chimney fumes from here. Mara absolutely refuses to leave Alfie's side, and like I said, I'm inclined to agree with her. If only a stout champion would, step up and lend us a hand.
Any discernible flavor, really.
Oh, we'd be mighty grateful if you would escort us to Silverglen, your knightship. But for it is our aim to set up shop there. A new smithy in a new town. Without Alfie, though, without the tools he carries, I'd be like a fisherman without his rod, grasping for salmon with his bare hands. Never could I produce the quality of work for which I'm renowned. Our predicament is clear, and the biggest problem is that Alfie's wounds are so dire, no ordinary healing potion will work. He needs... well, I don't know what he needs, but they say miracle cures are produced by the priests of Silverglen.
My nerves are all shot.
What was that? A bandit? Huh? Oh no. I could do with a cold drink. Oh, how good it is to see a human face in these odious woods filled with nightmares come real. Do forgive me if I seem a bit bedraggled, but we've had a frightful time of it of late. My husband Bjorn's a blacksmith, of some renown as a matter of fact. A favourite with the legionnaires that passed through Hunter's Edge. Or used to, I should say. He hasn't a head for business though, and that's where I come in. We made a good living, he and I, in that quiet little town. Orc plunder now. What is there left to say, really? I could tell you it's more wholesome than Sicil, but then the orcs came. I could tell you it's cosy, that the people there are nice, but then the orcs came. All you'll find there now are broken dreams and broken bodies around orcish bonfires. Hunter's Edge? It no longer exists. Oh, I do hope you can heal dear Alfie. He deserves every care he can get after saving us so valiantly. Or perhaps he was just hungry. Still, the result is the same, isn't it?
No! You're hurting him, Sir Knight! Oh, no wizard's tricks will cure poor Alfie.
To think of all the clothes I left behind in Hunter's Edge. All the jewels
I'm
and
overheating
trinkets.
here.
Oh, hell take the orcs.
Please don't leave us to our own devices, your knightship. Heed our call for assistance.
I can't believe we're stuck here, so close to our goal. Oh, will we ever reach Silverglen?
We have the means to save this animal, and so we shall.
You'd waste the bloodstone on this thing? I won't hear of it.
Please don't leave us to our own devices, your knightship.
Just
Heed our
look
call.
at the creature. Doesn't his misery move you?
Trinkets?
What if you require a bloodstone later, and you've given it to some weird animal?
No, we'll do as I say, and there's an end to it. Bloodstone, as powerful as it is simple.
And
Heed
that's
our
the
call
last.
for assistance.
We'll be done and coming soon if no one comes to our rescue.
What do you say, your knightship? Will you escort us to Silverglen? He's right as rain again, is Alfie, and he has you to thank for it, my liege. A miracle worker is what you are.
If we make it to Silverglen, I swear I'll never set another step in any forest ever again. Give me civilization, or give me death. Dear Alfie! Good as new! Oh, you're a blessing. Do you know that? Oh, please bless us once more and lead us to Silverglen.
What do you say, your knightship? Will you escort us to Silverglen? We are your knightship. With Alfie healed, we're raring to go. Right you are, Sir Knight. This is it, Mara. You and Alfie stick close together now. Onward, to Silverglen. can see the watchtowers! We're almost there!
Don't have a leg to stand on.
Away from me, fiend! Away!
Save me! Save me!
Someone, help me, please!
Away from me, fiend!
I must focus! Someone, help me, please!
Away from me, fiend! Away!
May the goddess guide you through the forest and keep you safe.
Silver Glen! We did it! Oh, you did it! Oh, Mara, my love! Truly have we been delivered. You live, Alfie lives, and I do too. Oh, joyous hour! I still can't believe it! Silver Glen! What is to become of us here, I wonder? Oh, but I know, don't I? A blacksmith I was in Hunter's Edge, and a blacksmith I'll remain, for such is my one purpose in life. Aye, come what may, your knightship, I thank you for standing by me, by us, during our hour of need. I thank you. Welcome, your knightship. Oh, be welcome indeed. As you can see, we have set up shop here in Silverglen. And as a matter of course, you'll get my wares at prices that no one else has a right to claim from me. I've a song in my heart and a spring in my step, my liege. I've had orcs on my tail and bandits to boot, and yet I live. How can I be anything but happy? Oh, the smithy's doing grandly, your knightship. Thanks to your valiant rescue of Alfie, I haven't had to abandon my most valuable gear, which means my products are up to the high standards you may expect from Bjorn Stoutborn, for such is my name and such is my reputation. She's alive and kicking, my liege, just like she always was. Oh, certainly she can be a handful, but I wouldn't really have it any other way. We survived thanks to you, and each hour we are together I count as a blessing.
my. I see you appear and everything brightens. Such is the joy you have brought us. Please be ever welcome in our new establishment. I'm swell and settled here in Silver Glen. I have a roof over my head instead of menacing forest canopies looming above. I have a cozy bed to sleep in instead of moss and leaves to lie on. I have a husband to cuddle come the night instead of having to stand and watch for bloodthirsty beasts that hunt by the moon. As you can tell, dear friend, I am well indeed. Oh, he's doing peachy, as am I. We do still feel great sadness for what happened to our friends in Hunter's Edge, but the selfish side that houses in every soul is mighty glad we made it out together. A new smithy, a new life. The gods are kind to us.
Look at you, Alfie. Oh, they daren't attack a brigand, but you do.
Hello again, or do a salutoin, as we say in our homeland.
Do a salutoin, Hunter. What can I do for you?